everybody, welcome back to my cosy creative corner here in Cumbria in the UK. Welcome, my name is Emma. If you haven't been here before, I'm a textile artist and I have the privilege of sitting here and playing with fabrics and threads most of the day. It's really lovely. So welcome here. If it's your very first time, it's great to have you here with me. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you enjoy the film and subscribe if you'd like to. It's just lovely to have you here to be with kindred spirits. I had so many lovely comments last week to my video. It was just a joy. Some people write the most wonderful things. You all write wonderful things, but some of them are they just make me smile and I have a good giggle, and it's just lovely to feel, although it's not about numbers here, it's about the quality of our communication, our connection. That's what it's all about. I feel as though you're all friends, and if I could fit you all in here, that would be lovely, but I can't, so we just do the next best thing. I'm sure if I met you, we would just get on like a house on fire, you know, because we've got similar interests, kindred spirits, as Jane, was it Anne of Green Gables, isn't it? Says, you know, it's kindred spirits. So I know I'm amongst friends and I can share with you what goes on here, and I hope you get some pleasure from it. I try and make a nice relaxing video. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, especially at this time of year for people, a lot of busyness, and I think to sit down with a cup of tea and just give yourself a bit of me time is really important. I was going to share with you a bit of a funny thing. You might hear I'm a little bit nasal. I had a bit of a cold thing last week, but the funniest thing was I actually got this sort of nudge, what I call a nudge. It's my intuition, my gut instinct said, just make a film, do it now, just get your fabrics out and just create something and start it off. You need to do that now. And I was going, well, yeah, but I don't need that till next week. Well, no, just do it now. So I did it, and it was sitting on the computer waiting for when I'm ready to edit it now, which is because I'm feeling better, I can now edit it. Pardon me, it's just really wonderful how things work out. If you listen to those little quiet voices, you know, so often I could have just said, oh no, I'm going to get on and do something else. Something more important needs doing. But sometimes it's just this really quiet voice, isn't it? And it seems very quiet and very subtle. And the number of times I listen to that and it works out, absolutely works out perfectly, and for the best. That I do whatever it is I'm getting the nudge to do. So it's worked fine down the years, actually, when I think about all the funny jobs and things I've done, and I've had this little nudge to go. And I looked at a notice board one day in the college that I used to go to, and I'd left the college but I'd gone back for an exhibition, and I was looking for a job at the time, and I swung through this doorway. I'll never forget it. It was a notice board I've never looked at before, and there was a job advertised there. So I applied for the job and I got it. And it's like one of those things, isn't it, where you just follow that little trail of breadcrumbs that's just saying, come this way, come this way. So anyway, glad to say I'm feeling better, feeling much more like myself, and I'm very happy to share this little video with you. Hopefully there'll be more next week, but you know, as you know, nothing happens according to plan. So I just hope you'll have a peaceful week. It's lovely to have you here with me, keeping me company. It's very special indeed, and you know, as I say, I hope you'll have a peaceful week, and I will see you again very soon. But in the meantime, let's watch what I did. Okay, so I've got myself a lovely big box of fabrics out. This is a very random box. It's got lots of things that I used to use for embellishing when I was teaching workshops in embellishing and things, and it's just a random collection of basically old clothes. My favourite things from charity shops. And what I've done is I've brought it out because I really don't quite know, as I say, what to do today. I haven't got anything particularly to do, and I thought, well, I'm just going to get these fabrics out and have a little look and see if any of them spark anything in me. And I'm going to choose a few and then just see what's going to come from that. I'm being very experimental and very loose and not saying, oh, I'm going to make a landscape, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. I'm just going to look through these and go, well, actually, you know, and even if I only use one fabric from it, or possibly two, that might be enough just to get me started. As I say, it's often the way that you just don't know quite what to do sometimes, and I've had a lot of that lately. And it's quite interesting because it's led me down little paths that I might not have gone down. See, I love this fabric. This fabric's gorgeous. And I know it cuts up really nicely. It's got lace and it'll embellish a little bit, I think. It's obviously got a very vibrant pattern. So, I mean, gorgeous colours, but, you know, it's a question of where I'm actually going to start. So I'm going to just look through, pick a couple out and see what's going to happen. Ooh, a bit of velvet there. Isn't it exciting? Not knowing what you're going to be doing next is quite exciting. A little bit scary, but, you know, it doesn't matter. It's only bits of fabric. Okay, so these are the fabrics that I've chosen. And I picked them out just because they're really nice, soft, muted colours. That seemed to be the thing to have. They're beautiful, were beautiful pieces of clothing. This one's got the most gorgeous little buttons on it. But I'm just going to chop it up. I think it's got lots of potential. It's got lots of different patterns going on in it. It's got lights and darks, and I just think that'll be quite nice. And it's very, because you can see how see-through that is. I think it'll be really nice and soft and easy to embellish. And the other one I chose because, well, it just chose me. I didn't choose it. It chose me. It's got two different fabrics here. It's got this lovely, pretty little sort of, it's almost like an animal print, isn't it? A little spotty, dotty one, which I really like. And then it's got this lovely, sheeny, shiny kind of one with flowery bits on it, which is really good. And again, it's nice and soft, so if I cut it, I'll just cut a piece and show you. Once you start cutting these things up, you know, that's got lots of potential for putting onto an embellished piece. It's even got a lining which could also be used. You know, nothing is ever wasted, as you know, around here. Every little scrap is used. So I'm going to put those together, and I'm going to get myself some backing fabric, and I'm going to get my embellisher out, and I'm just going to play because, as I say, don't know quite what I'm doing, don't quite know where I'm going, but I'm just going to enjoy myself. A bit like if you get your watercolour paints out or something and you just start slopping the paint around. That's what I'm going to do. No axes to grind here, nothing, no outcome required. I'm just going to see what's going to happen. I really will have to cut these little buttons off, they're gorgeous. Cut them off and save them for something. Okay, so I've got myself here a piece of my favourite stuff to use with my embellisher, or in fact most things I'm making. It's cotton curtain interlining. If you haven't been here before, those of you who've been around for a while know it's one of my favourite things to use. It's relatively cheap to buy, and I used to use it when I did a lot of quilting. When I was making quilts for the wall, because it was a really easy way to get a quilting fabric, really cheap, because you get a lot for your money, I found. So I'm just going to cut a little piece here that's going to be something I can embellish some bits of fabric onto, and I'm just going to play. It's no big deal. I'm just trying to get myself going and playing, and I'm just going to spend some nice time with myself here doing this, seeing where it takes me. So I'm just cutting up a little piece of fabric here, and I might cut it again into little strips like this, and my little piece of this curtain interlining. Make sure my machine is switched on. Up we go. Might put that down a little bit. Okay, so what I like is how the embellisher just meshes everything together. Oops. So I've cut another little piece, and I'm just debating whether I'm going to put it on top of that piece. You can see how nicely that's meshed it. It leaves some of the pattern showing, but I could break that up a little bit by adding a little bit of something on top of it, you see. You could add something on top. So it becomes less leafy, or perhaps it's become more flowery, I don't know. Or I could take that off if I don't like it, and I could just put this underneath. Oh, hasn't that gone nice? That's gone like a really roly-scroly. Oops. And get it back on.
So I've moved on to using this. This is quite a nice little fabric. And again, because it's thin, like an organza-y sort of fabric, it goes quite nicely on here. So I'm just popping it on where I feel like popping it on. Find the foot of my machine will be all right. And you can just see how beautifully this just meshes. It just transforms the fabric, and I love how it leaves you with all these lovely little loose edges. They are so nice, aren't they? What I love is you can make use of that as well, and you can sort of layer things up and let things stick up. I love it. It just makes messiness. Happy messiness. So I haven't embellished this fabric before, I don't think. I don't remember embellishing it. It looks pretty pristine, this garment. I've got some bits cut out of it, but isn't that lovely? It's got a lovely sheen to it. I'll just pop it on there and see what happens. It's quite interesting. It's made the little white centres of the flowery bits kind of really stand out. It's quite strange. Let's do another little piece and see what happens down here. So I'll just keep messing about with this, and then we'll have a little look at it when I've got all these pieces embellished down. Well, okay, so let's just make a bit of space here and get this in. So that's what I've done. Okay, we'll show you the back, because the back is always interesting to see. I think it just shows you how the fabrics just get pushed through. It's mangled the edges a little bit, but that's okay, that's not a big problem. And obviously it's very floppy at the moment, but I just love how that, just doing that simple process with 3 little pieces of fabric, 3 separate different bits of fabric, just took me somewhere. I got so focused and involved in just cutting a piece of fabric, putting it on the embellisher, whizzing it down, and then thinking, well, where's the next piece going? Which piece shall I cut now? And popping it on. And it doesn't mean anything, it's not for anything, but I could then start to work into this and see where that could take me. I could be adding something on. It's almost landscapey. I often end up with things that look landscapey, but it could just be that I start to add some other textures and things on, and I don't know what I'm going to do next. But I'm fascinated that that's taken me on a journey so far. And what I love about the embellisher is how it creates these gorgeous surfaces for you to then stitch into. If I was going to use the machine, my sewing machine, I would need to stiffen the back. I'll put some stabilizer on, but I'm just not quite sure what else I'm going to add on to it. So we will find out next week. Haha, that's what I always say. We'll see where this is going to take me next time. If you've got any ideas what you might do with this, do leave me a comment, because I love to hear what you have to say. You've always got great imagination, you guys, and you always have some ideas of what you might do with these things. And even if you haven't, that doesn't matter, but just say hello. Say hello. It's really nice to talk to you in the comments, I have to say. So I'll see you next week in my little creative corner, and we'll just see where on earth this is going to go next. Thank you so much for joining me here. It's always lovely to have your company, and I'll just say bye for now. Ba ba da ba da ba da ba ba.